All right. If you missed Wednesday night, the 110 Nation Sports Show, you missed Mario and I talking whether or not we felt that the Joker was a top 5 or even a top 10 center all time. I feel that this whole topic and conversation has gotten out of control and out of hand. Listen in to what we had to say last Wednesday night.
First thing I want to get into is this whole Nikolai Jokic, the Joker, however you say this, and the Denver Nuggets. First of all, shout out to the Denver Nuggets. I called it in 5. I think you called it in 6. Either way, we both called Denver. Yeah. I didn't see Miami having anything for them. We can talk more about that if we want to get into that. The whole Joker conversation. I feel this whole conversation is really kind of gotten out of hand. I've listened to show after show after show. I'm looking at a top 25, a top 20, and a top 25 list. One has the Joker top 10 center of all time. Another one has number 12th center all time. And you're talking about ahead of some of the greats out there. Your Robert Parishes, who won multiple championships. I'm not going to say Dikembe Mutombo is a great, but that's another name. Big Bill Walton, who's got 2 championships with the Blazers, who put up pretty decent numbers. Alonzo Mourning with the title, just the one title, but title with decent numbers. It's crazy to me. The whole Robert Parrish thing is crazy to me. That everybody is just jumping on this whole Nikolai Jokic, and another one they put up there in front of it is Dwight Howard. Not that I feel Dwight Howard is this phenomenal center, but he wins a title, and all of a sudden people are willing to put him in the conversation of top 10, and I've even heard as high as top 5 centers of all time. I'm not. You have 2 MVP runs, and a lot of people question that second MVP and felt that should have went in Giannis's direction, and then of course Embiid wins it this year, and people felt that Embiid was rightfully so. And so there's kind of a dispute whether or not he should be a 2-time back-to-back MVP anyway. And then he wins a title. And outside these last couple years in his total career, he's gotten better. But it's not like he's been throwing up these phenomenal numbers and extreme numbers this whole time that he's been in the NBA. This is one of the things where he is constantly growing. He is 227th ranked in rebounds and 186th ranked in assists. It's not like, he's just putting up these massive points his whole career, these massive rebounds, massive assists. He helped Denver. I give him this. He helped Denver do something they have never done in the franchise and win an NBA Finals. But I'm not ready to put him in this list of so high on a list when it comes to centers all time. Are you, Mario?
No, I'm not. I'm on about the same page as you. I feel like he still has a little bit more work to put in to the game of basketball. Most definitely congratulations on, winning championship, MVP, and Finals MVP. He definitely is he's a good player. As you saw, I saw some lists where he was above. I saw one where he was above Shaq. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like he still has a lot more to prove to the game. But I'm not ready to put him up there in that type of rankings above Shaq. Not yet. Not saying he couldn't.
Every list that I have seen, I've seen 4 people. I've not seen a list that involves Shaq being behind him. I know that a couple shows that I listened to, they were real close to Shaq. But the four names, and the only four names that to me have been consistently on the list above him is Bill Russell, and everybody has him number one. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think everybody's had him two. Will Chamberlain, I think everybody's had him three. And Shaq number four. And I think that's been the same, all four. Yeah. Once you get past those four, it goes crazy to me. I've seen the list as high as him being number five, and when you put him on the list, when you talk about the list, you're talking to him being ahead of Hakeem Olajuwon, who's got 2 NBA titles. You're talking about David Robinson, the Twin Towers, who's got two championships and average 20 points a game, double-double is average points and rebounds, playoffs and regular season. You're talking about names of Moses Malone. You're talking, it's crazy. Patrick Ewing. I know Patrick Ewing never won a championship, and of course that's going to hamper his, being on the top of the list. And I don't feel that Patrick Ewing should be any higher than what he is in the list. Most of the lists, I think, 10 through 15. But it's just crazy to me to see these lists and listen to these conversations, and they have him so high on these lists. And let's be honest, the only thing that he's really accomplished is won a title. And don't be wrong, the 2 MVPs, like I said, there's a lot of dispute on the second MVP, whether or not it should have went to him or went to Giannis. Some people feel that he should not got that back-to-back. It's crazy to me how quickly everybody has jumped on board, and it feels that this is one of the greatest centers to ever play this game. And if you go back more than a couple seasons, you knew the name, but it wasn't like he was putting up these crazy, phenomenal numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I want to put him. I want to put him above. I want to put him above Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson.
I agree. I don't. There's a few other names that honestly I don't have him high on my list, but I would probably grab them before I grab him. I don't know. It's just crazy to me how quickly, and I'm pulling up his stats right now as we speak, these lists and listening to the shows. And I thought when I'm listening to the shows, like, they can't be serious. Like, they got to be talking out their neck. Like, there's no way that. And then it seemed like list after list after list that I pulled up. Yes, that's what people are honestly rating him as, and that's where they have Giannis or Jokic. You figure except for the last 3 seasons where he averaged 26, 27, and 24. Previous to that, he only had 1 season. He cracked even 20 points a game. Field goal percentage, barely, except for the last 2 seasons, he was a 58 and a 63%. The rest of the time, he was barely a 50% free throw or field goal percent shooter. Rebounds, you're only 1 season that he's actually averaged. He's averaged a couple seasons double-doubles, offense and defense. It's not like he's just. The assist is a little bit higher than normal when it comes to your centers. Almost 10 assists this year per game. I don't know. It's just crazy to me how high everybody thinks of. And it's funny because we went into this playoffs, going into the playoffs this year, everybody talked about the fact that they couldn't win, that they kept losing, like they just couldn't get, he's 2-time MVP, but when it comes to the playoffs, he disappears. When it comes to the playoffs, and then he Granted, he did sweep the Lakers, and that was part of me wants to say it's impressive because that's the LeBron team, but the other part of me has got to remember the fact this is a LeBron James that's like 38 years old, 20 years in the league, and it's showing. And Anthony Davis, who can't stay healthy and is very inconsistent. And then everybody else was just kind of, I'm going to say plug-in pieces because people are going to get contracts like Reeves and everybody. But D'Angelo didn't show up to the playoffs, and there was no other real big name. So you were kind of going against an aged LeBron James, an injured-prone Anthony Davis, and then the rest of the team. I don't know if people hold a lot of weight in this 4-1 series against Miami because we kind of knew what we was going to get. You had Jimmy Butler with 7 undrafted players. You had a past his prime Kyle Lowry and a past his prime Kevin Love. Like, how they got past Boston is still beyond me, but we got what we expected. And to be into all fairness, anybody out of the West I felt was going to win over the East. I don't think any of the teams in the East were any good, at least compared to the West. So I don't know if these people hold a lot of weight on his ranking, how they feel about him when it comes to this win in the NBA Finals. Because I'm sorry. No, you beat Miami. Nobody thought you was going to lose to Miami. You didn't really play against anybody.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel